So today we start Unit 3, and it's going to be about quadratics, solving quadratic equations by factoring. So we're going to do a little review. First, we're going to take a look at our problem, and we're going to ask ourselves, does the equation equal 0? In our first example, 3x squared plus 18x, it does equal 0. So if that's the case, we can go ahead and skip to step 3. We're going to simplify if possible and helpful. And let's see if we can do that. And factor completely. So I'm going to factor out a GCF, which is 3x. And what I have left is x plus 6. And of course, it's set equal to 0. Here we're going to set each factor equal to 0. And we're going to solve. 3x, which is my first term, is equal to 0. And then my second expression, which is x plus 6, we set it equal to 0. Let's go ahead and solve. We get x equals 0, and x is equal to negative 6. So these are the solutions, and if we go back and plug them back in, we would definitely get out 0. We put them in curly brackets to represent that both are solutions. Let's take a look at this next one. 3x squared plus 13x is equal to 10. Does the equation equal 0? No, it is equal to 10. We are going to move 10 to the other side. What we're going to do is we're going to do the inverse property, and we're going to get 10 on the other side. And now we have 3x squared plus 13x minus 10 is equal to 0. Let's go ahead and factor this, put it in factored form. We're going to try out our loops. And when we do, in the middle loop, we get negative 2x, and on the outer loop, we get 15, and it definitely comes up to 13x. Now that we have it factored, we're going to set each factor equal to 0. 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. X plus 5 is equal to 0. We're going to solve for each one. And we find out that one solution is x is equal to 2/3, and the other solution is x is equal to negative 5. Now, another word for solutions, we'll call it roots. So the roots are 2/3 and negative 5. The solutions are 2/3 and negative 5. So we go back and forth with the vocabulary, but roots and solutions are interchangeable. Here we have problem number 3. X squared minus 27 is equal to 6x. Question number 1. Does the equation equal 0? No, it does not. What we're going to do is we're going to get all the terms on one side by using our inverse properties. We're going to subtract 6x from each side. 6x is not a like term, so we have to place it on the left side. X squared minus 6x minus 27 is equal to 0. Now it's time to factor completely. We put it in factor form, and we find out that we are going to put 9 and 3 to give us 27, negative 9 and positive 3 to get us negative 6. Now that we have it factored completely, let's set each factor equal to 0 and let's solve. X minus 9 is equal to 0. We add 9 to both sides and we get x is equal to 9. We subtract 3 on each side and we get x is equal to negative 3. Here are a few problems that you can try. Hit pause and try these on your own. Hopefully these are the solutions that you got. Let's take a look at number 6. It says the solutions to a quadratic equation are 4 and negative 3. What is the equation? So this problem is having us work backwards. They're giving us the roots or the solutions, and they want us to come up with a quadratic equation. Here we have, given the zeros of a quadratic function, write its equation in standard form with integral coefficients. So we don't want any fractions for the coefficients. We're going to start off with x is equal to negative 2 and x is equal to 3. We're going to build this by adding 2 to each side. And when we do, we have x plus 2 is equal to 0, and we have x minus 3 is equal to 0. This now becomes our factors. We put it in factored form, and x plus 2 times the expression x minus 3. Next, we're going to FOIL. Some of you use the box method. And when you do, this is what you get. X squared plus 2x minus 3x minus 6 is equal to 0. We always have to simplify by combining like terms. And voila, here we go. X squared minus x minus 6 is equal to 0. So what we have done today, we have taken a quadratic equation and we have factored it and solved it to get the solutions. And we have taken solutions, worked backwards to get the actual equation. How about when you're given a fraction, like negative 2/3 and 2? Well, we know what to do if 2 is one of the solutions. We work backwards. X is equal to 2. In order to get our variables and our numbers on the same side, we're going to do the inverse operation. So we're going to subtract 2 on each side and we get x minus 2. Let's take a look at this x equals negative 2/3. We're tempted to add 2/3 to both sides, but that's not what we're going to do. We're going to do this in 2 steps. We're going to multiply each side by 3, and 3x is equal to negative 2. We're going to add 2, to each side, and we get 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Now we have our factors. 3x plus 2 is one expression and x minus 2 is the other. Let's get ready to do the distributive property, FOIL or box method, whatever you would like to call it. And when we do, we get 3x squared minus 6x plus 6x minus 4 is equal to 0. Last step, let's simplify. And when we do, we get 3x squared minus 4x minus 4 is equal to 0. This is how we take solutions and build the quadratic equation. So as you can see, 3x plus 2 times the expression x minus 2. We call this form intercept form. We'll get more into what we can do with that form later, but that is intercept form. When it is in x squared, x in a constant, and with descending powers, this is called standard form.